Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm getting ready for work, so I literally just set my timer for 12 minutes. I want to talk about my breakage. So it is a topic that I haven't talked about yet, but it's very important because I want to be transparent and I want to share this in case, anyone has a similar issue. I just haven't talked about it yet because I hadn't gotten to the bottom of it and I didn't want to just come, even though I know I could have, I didn't want to just come without some type of insight into what is causing it. So if any of you can remember, or some of you may know, some of you may not know, this is my second lock set. I started my first set of locks, I believe in 2021 or 2020. It might have been 2020. I had them for about 6 months because I had a lot of breakage up here. I started these locks January of 2024. Around November or so, I started to notice like there's some shorter pieces throughout my locks. I've talked about breakage before, and so I know it immediately when I see it. So yeah, so I started just like analyzing my routine. I'm like, okay, I know, well, you all know I've talked about it so much that tying my hair up at night has been like the hardest thing for me to do. But in November, I was like, we're gonna make a bigger effort to do that, to make sure that we're doing that more often. And I mean, I had been doing a good job of keeping my hair hydrated as well, and just made sure to keep that up. Around Christmas time, I bought a steamer as well, just to kind of like start introducing more hydration into my hair. Really analyze the frequency that I was doing my hair, also the tension that I was putting on it with styling, which I don't do much styling, but I do love my 2 ponytails. So just kind of like tried to dial back a little bit on how much I was doing those, how tight they were, and things like that. But I noticed it wasn't getting better at all, and it actually was getting worse. Again, really tried to just like wash my hair more often, make sure I was doing my hydration, but seeing that it wasn't getting better was really just kind of making me discouraged. And when I really noticed the extent to the damage was, it might have been like the first week of January maybe, but I was recording the video for the tutorial of how to retwist your hair at home, and I promise it's coming, but I've been a little discouraged with the footage because while I was filming that video, I had a deja vu moment. Because if you followed my last lock journey, I also noticed my breakage on video while I was recording a video. So at this point, I have realized that something's really wrong with my scalp. I'm texting my sister because she had mentioned it to me when she was doing my hair. However, I had not seen the severity of it until this moment. So I'm pretty much in panic mode right now, even though I look super calm. You are seeing me in the moment, like my eyes are watering up because I'm stressed out. My best friend just texted me like, what's good? And I'm telling him that I'm crying, and me just even having to explain to him has me feeling crazy right now, like, and I literally broke down. And so this time around, talked myself out of breaking down, even though I was on the verge of doing it, but it was very clear as I was looking at the back of my hair, because as you all know, like, my sister had been doing most of my retwists. I don't believe it's something that she noticed but didn't tell me, because the last couple times I had done my own retwist, but I didn't care too much about like my parting or anything, so I didn't even look at the back of my hair while I was doing it. So I hadn't even seen the extent to the damage until I'm recording this video, trying to show you all how to look at the back of your head and really get things clean. And then I noticed like, ew, it's bad, okay? Which will make sense because that's where I lay my head. That's when I noticed like, okay, something is really off. I pretty much thought that it had something to do with, either my dairy allergy, which had been the case the last time, or that's what I deduced last time, because I had gotten an allergy test and that was the first time I learned that I had a milk allergy, or it was something I was doing. So this time around I was like, okay, well, I still been eating dairy since I found out, that I've tried to cut it out in certain ways, you know, but still for the most part eating cheese, indulging and things like that. And I had thought that it was a kind of like it lined up with Thanksgiving. I hadn't had macaroni and cheese. Y'all know the baked cheesy mac and cheese. I hadn't had that in years. And this past Thanksgiving, I indulged because it just looked too good. My self-control went out the window this past Thanksgiving. So I was like, all right, it gotta be the dairy. So January 1st, decided I'm cutting out dairy completely, cold turkey. That came with its own other side effects as far as like my mood and everything, but I was just like, we gonna stick to it because my hair, it needs to turn around. However, that did nothing. The breakage continued to get worse. Okay, editing Court here to say that I also experienced a lot of itching. I didn't mention it in this video for some reason, but that was a main reason why I thought it was an allergy, because of the amount of itching I was experiencing. Okay, my hair continued to break, and while I was filming that video, I actually filmed the wash process and everything, and you can't see in the footage, but my parents' bathroom, like their shower and everything, is like stark white, like it's very white. And there was so much hair in the shower as I was washing. So I'm like, you know, normally locks don't shed, you know, this much. My locks have never shed that much, but there was hair everywhere. So I'm like, okay, there's definitely a lot of breakage and shedding going on. So yeah, cut dairy, cold turkey, nothing got better. So I was like, all right, we're gonna go in for this physical and we're gonna get this blood work, talk about the breakage and everything with my doctor, and see, you know, if we can come to some type of conclusion. He pretty much said that, you know, we were going to test to see if I had any vitamin deficiencies, and also do a blood allergy test, because the skin allergy test that I got years ago could explain the itching that I was having, but it wouldn't explain any internal reactions that I could be having, you know, that could lead to some type of breakage. So we did both of those. He messages me a few days later to say that I have a zinc deficiency and iron deficiency and vitamin D deficiency. I pretty much always have a vitamin D deficiency, especially after like the winter time and things like that, as many Black people do. But the zinc deficiency had never heard of, and the iron deficiency I did know about, but I thought it had kind of leveled out or whatever. And like last year, I thought it had kind of leveled out a little bit. So, got 3 minutes. So he recommends a really good multivitamin that contains high levels of pretty much everything that I need. I have been taking that, and actually within the first week, I'm noticing so much growth within my hair. Just like at the root, I can feel them thickening up, but there's going to be a long road to repairing my locks because of the extent of the damage. I'm going to get some video later of just like how bad it is, but it's going to be a long road, and I definitely want to chronicle the journey a little bit more and just be more transparent about how you can repair your locks slowly, the types of routines that will really help to just kind of like accelerate growth, because of course the only thing that's going to repair the damage is repairing and, you know, building up those deficiencies that I have internally, but also, you know, making sure that my routine on the outside goes hand in hand with that routine as well. Because if I'm fixing the deficiencies but my hair is just dry as hell, you know, and it's just going to continue breaking for other reasons. So I have committed to now washing my hair weekly, just to make sure I'm getting hydration in my hair often, and just doing some lightweight tension-free styles. I'll probably go to about 6 weeks or so for my retwist, just to kind of give my hair some time to get itself together. But I will be washing weekly, moisturizing, and then also using my Frowetry Ooh Baby oil to kind of accelerate some of that growth, and along with the multivitamins that will be helping from the inside. So stay tuned for more footage on how things are going, just more updates. I will be getting some more blood work done in a couple months just to kind of check the levels and make sure that the vitamins are, you know, leveling things out and kind of bringing everything back to an equilibrium that it should be at, and just again keeping you all posted. So just trying to document and see like what's really going on, and I think that we are on our way to healthier hair. I was very emotional years ago because I had so much pressure on myself for just being someone who teaches about hair care and all of that, and it's like, okay, how can you have unhealthy hair when you teach about healthy hair and healthy locks? But I've since then done a lot of work just on reframing my thinking and reassuring myself that it's okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is a normal occurrence. Like, so many people experience this, and I am happy to be able to, you know, share my experience and help other people who may be having the same experience. So, you know, if you are experiencing some unexplained hair loss, definitely, in addition to like going to a dermatologist, that's usually what people say. Maybe it would even be good to stop first at your doctor to make sure that your blood work is normal, and if that's normal, then we can go to the dermatologist just to look at anything that may be happening on the outside. Another, you know, field that's not talked about enough is trichology. They specialize specifically with hair loss, and a lot of times they may be better than your dermatologist when it comes to hair loss, because they have more machines and things tailored specifically to hair loss. They will be able to target it directly, whereas dermatologists tend to look at all skin in general, and it does include the scalp. Trichologists are more of like specialists for the scalp. So there are not as many trichologists as there are dermatologists, but you know, it is something worth looking into if, you know, blood work comes back regularly, you know, and other things are otherwise looking good. I would go there as well. Of course, knowing your blood work in general for your health is very important, and I definitely will be making sure to do that even more often than like yearly physicals. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's required even more frequently, so I'm going to be a little bit more intentional about doing that, about checking up on that more frequently, and just making sure that, you know, everything's looking good. I'm definitely big on my multivitamins now. Like, I am going to stay, like, even past the point of my hair getting healthy again. I'm going to make sure I'm still taking a multivitamin pretty much for the rest of my life. And the one that I have is really good, so I'll be doing that. If you want the link, you know, just ask me for it. But otherwise, really excited to get this new healthy journey going, because it's been a little stressful. I'm not gonna lie. Even though I already had made up in my mind, like, I'm not cutting this set of locks off. I'm going to document the journey of repairing them, because, you know, so many people, when I cut off my last set, was just like, you didn't have to do that, you know, you can save them and you can grow them out. I was just kind of like over it at that point. But this time, I really do love my locks. I like the size of them. I like how they've been growing so far, and I'm like, no, I'm not starting over. Some type of person, I'm not combing them out, I'm cutting them off. Okay, and then I would have to grow my hair all out again, start locks again and stuff like that, and I just wasn't in the mood to do all of that this time. So I am glad that I stuck it out, and again, just excited to get to healthy hair, because this summer I'm about to be outside with my locks, and they're getting longer, and I'm excited for like year 2 of locks and all of that, for them to get long. I love the count, I love how many I have, I love the sizing, everything. So I'll be doing a lot of tension freestyles. I got this 2-strand twist here, and I'm gonna put a little pipe cleaner at the end like I did here. I'm gonna do them all over, wear those probably for like a week or so, and then take them down. I did the pipe cleaners before, and they were so cute this past week, So I'm definitely going to do that again and just give my hair as much love and the least amount of attention as possible and just watch them flourish. So stay tuned for more content around, like, you know, bouncing back from breakage, because I've had clients bounce back from breakage. I'm going to be bouncing back from breakage, and I know that other people now and in the future may need this information. So yeah, be on the lookout. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching my video. As always, I will see you all in my next one, and take care.